All right, folks, good Friday morning. Today is Friday, March 31st, 2023, and this is your Friday safety meeting. My name is Dennis Davis. I work in the safety department. The safety department is located in the Z building on the ground level, not quite the basement, but the ground level, center of the room, right next to the pillars. So if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to stop by. We don't ever pretend to have all the answers in the safety department, but we've got some talented trucking professionals in the building that we can point you toward to get you any information you need. We do this Friday safety meeting 52 Fridays a year. We try to be as transparent as we possibly can and make sure that we get you the information that you need. You know, it's kind of a sparing crowd today here in Springfield, but that's okay. That's okay. Good thing is breakfast is free at all three of our locations. So Pittston, Salt Lake, and Springfield. I saw John Blansett over there a little bit earlier. So let's give him and his folks a round of applause at all three of our locations for getting us taken care of today. We are simulcasting live at all three locations, Pittston, Salt Lake, and Springfield. And of course, we're live on the socials. So welcome to our folks that are tuning in live on Facebook, YouTube, and on LinkedIn. Definitely click like and subscribe so you can get notifications anytime we do post new content or go live with these safety meetings. You know, we've learned a lot over the past couple months. Tons of folks are watching these meetings. You know, this safety meeting is not only exclusive to folks that are working here at Prime. It's open to anybody with a phone in their hand and with a good connection or with some free Wi-Fi that you can stream what we got going on. So this means, you know, all of our current drivers, we've got some prospective drivers, we've got some insurance companies, we've got some customer stakeholders, we've got our competitors. Tons of folks are watching this, and that's okay. We're completely transparent and always willing to share the good word of what we have going on here. So let's go east first. Let's see who we got with us. I think we got Rick here for this morning. Good morning, Rick.
Hey, good morning.
Man, you guys are kind of sparingly populated like us.
Well, we got a pretty good crowd. We got some people in line yet. Yeah, we're going to be doing okay today. We got, like I said, we got a good crowd.
All right. I haven't seen or talked to you here in a few weeks. Hope all is well. Tell us what's going on in Pittston, Pennsylvania.
You know, all is well, you know, and I think Mother Nature is playing a little April Fool's joke on us for tomorrow. It's supposed to be 70 degrees. Then back down into the 40s on Sunday. So something going on there. But other than that, we're doing great. We had a great class this week, and a lot of guys that are going through the upgrade process and working on those pre-trips.
Oh, Mother Nature throwing you the good old curveball, right?
Yeah, a little curveball, but, you know, we'll manage. We'll swing at it if we can, and look forward to next week because we're looking at the high 50s and low 60s for all next week. So, yeah, we'll take it.
Excellent, excellent. So, you know, to make these things fun, I try to personally come up with a theme for each meeting. And I don't know if people have picked up on it, to just throw some keywords in there to see how well I can weave some specific language into it. You know, we've done hip hop from time to time. Today, since yesterday was the opening day of baseball, today it's going to be baseball. So you see how I threw that curveball in there for you?
Yeah, I think you slid right in home plate on that one there.
There you go. There you go. Hopefully by the end of it, I can get a home run, right?
Home run's always good, but we'll take a single.
Good deal. Hey, so your buddy Rick Yarborough needs a few minutes. We won't go immediately to him. We'll designate some time a little bit later in the meeting because I know he's got some important things he wants to talk about some of the changes going on in Pittston, okay?
Yeah, we'll get him up here as a pitch hitter.
There you go. I love it. I love it. So appreciate everything you do. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to jump on the microphone.
Thank you. We'll get him back on here. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Let's go west. Salt Lake City, Utah. I think we got a whole delegation of folks out there. Good morning.
That's right. Welcome to Utah. Good morning.
Pleasure to be with you this morning. Good morning, Troy. Sounds like you got a pretty good crowd out there.
We got a good crowd. A whole bunch of people here. Everybody getting a good free breakfast and hiding from the. I don't know. You guys talking about 70 degrees and stuff. It's 32 and snowing in Salt Lake City right now. It's beautiful out here.
You know, I think here in the Midwest, we call it faux spring. You know, this morning it was pretty cool. You see, I've got on a sweater, but here later on today, I think it's supposed to be upwards of 75 degrees. So I might have to, do a wardrobe change and change into shorts a little bit later on.
Yeah, no, we're striking out here as far as good weather goes. See what I did there?
Yeah, it's not as cool when you point it out. Just let it roll. Just let it flow with it. So,
no, it's all good.
So tell me
here.
what's new and interesting. Give me something going on out in Salt Lake City.
We had a bunch of visitors here coming out here for the L.W. Miller that we were working with, the company we got up in Logan, Utah. We got a bunch of people in town, and we got a whole bunch of drivers here doing upgrades and learning to be truck drivers. So it's a good day in Salt Lake.
All right, yeah. So good to hear. I think we've got a $1 million deal coming up here soon, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure when is that $1 million.
I think it's Monday, May 22nd. So here, just about a month or so, month and a half.
Good. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, and what's cool about it is I started doing this portion of my job about 9 years ago. I've been here for almost 19 now, but I started doing this about 9 years ago, and a bunch of those drivers that started here with me are now million milers. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat to see the people grow, with Prime.
Is that your sort of way of taking credit for their success, or what's going on?
That's the only reason they're still here is because they started here what I did. Yeah.
I say that tongue in cheek, but I do think it's really important for folks like you that are a part of the onboarding process, that as soon as a prospective driver or a new driver coming in for the onboarding process sees a friendly face, kind of latches on to somebody they know, can develop a relationship of trust, somebody they can go to when they have an issue. And I think that's very important to the lifelong success of a driver here at Prime.
Yeah, I feel the same way. We've got a good group of people that have been here quite a while. We got our dispatchers, our core base of people is everybody's been here quite a while, and that just shows the stability and the consistency of our company. So
awesome. So good morning to you and your guests that are out there for the L.W. Miller deal. I hope all is well. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to jump on the microphone and we'll get you right on.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Right back here to Springfield, Missouri. Good morning, everybody. I like it. Small in number, but mighty in force. So I see a couple neon vests out in the crowd. So that means we've got a few new folks that are here with us. So if you're new here to Prime, a brand new D seat, C seat, B seat, brand new A seat, whatever the case may be, please stand up for just a moment at each of our terminals and give us the opportunity to properly welcome you to the family. Come on, we can do better than that. Excellent. You guys, so you can sit down now. You guys have made a really big decision to come into the trucking industry. You dodged a good portion of the winter weather, so we're coming into spring. So excellent work. We appreciate everything you do. We know that you guys did a lot of research on Prime. Some of you maybe even watched this here safety meeting from previous weeks as a part of your research to determine what company you want to go to. We're glad that you're here with us. You are the best of the best of the best. We consider ourselves a destination company. Folks work in the industry for a long time. They make sure their MVRs are correct. They clean up their accident history. They clean up their citations just for the opportunity to come here to Prime. So for you folks that are getting your start here, that's a unique opportunity, and we're glad that you chose us. For our folks that have been here for a little while, welcome home. We appreciate you being with us. Hopefully, whatever the reason you're here, whether it's just to pay us a visit, whether you're here for the shop, whatever the case may be. Hopefully it's a short-lived process and we can get you back out and rolling ASAP. So, hey, with me here this morning, I've got John Harden. I just want to call you Blumberg. Sorry. John Harden here in our safety department. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Dennis. How are you doing?
You know, you've been in the department for about 6 months and I just, still calling you by the wrong last name. Sorry.
I mean, it seems like it's been about that long since you've been down here at one of these meetings. You've been out of town a little bit.
They put me to work, lo and behold, this is my favorite part of the job. Yet, you get a new job and they take that away from you, isn't it?
Snatch it from you.
That's okay. So you've been here. You've held down the fort for me. Appreciate you so much. Tell me what's been going on in my absence.
You bet. Well, things have been rolling along really well. You'll start to see more neon vests out here in the crowd. So, I personally wanted to say welcome to Prime. You guys have made a great decision. As Dennis said, this is a great company, very family-oriented style company. And, one thing that I was thinking about as you were going through that, whether you're a DC to CC to BC to an AC coming in here, Dennis and I have both been fleet managers, here before. So we've talked to a lot of folks that have came in here in all of the positions that we've been in. And Prime is a very open door policy, and we encourage you to use that. Your fleet manager is going to be your key contact source here at Prime, for any information that you need. But, all of these doors are open, so feel free to come in and ask anybody any question that you have. I've talked to a lot of drivers that have came in from other companies. They call, and I say, hey, you're here on the yard. Why haven't I seen you yet? And their response might be, well, I didn't know I could come to your desk, or I didn't know, can you meet me in the lobby or in the cafeteria? And that's not the case here at Prime. If you're here, come see us. We're available. Any questions that you might have, bring them to us, because that's what we're here for. And as Dennis mentioned earlier, if we don't have the answer, we probably know somebody here that does. So we appreciate your decision, and you appreciate you being here, and welcome to the family.
John talked about us both being fleet managers for a long time, and I know he shares the same sentiment. One of my things that I would always talk to my very new drivers coming in, we may not know each other, but we will get to know each other. Give me the opportunity to solve your problems, and especially in this age of social media. I've coined this term crowdsourcing facts. And I think it's important to get opinions from other folks on things. But when it comes to facts, the unique thing about Prime is, we've got somebody here specifically paid to take care of your problems. They're almost like a concierge, so to speak, or, a good third base coach that can, you can call timeout, you can jot down the line and get information from them, whether it's, what regulations are, what, issues that we're having with payroll. If you have a maintenance issue, if you need help trip planning, if you have questions about a customer, you've got one person that we've paid to make sure that we can get you all that information. And like John said, if you're one of those folks that like to go around and get information, great. The door is open, but, make sure that fleet manager is involved in that process and they can get you the information that you need. So. Hey, so we've been rambling here for a little while. Let's roll right into our first guest. Before we get too deep into it, we do want to make an introduction. So I'm gonna call Brian Beeman up here. So we've jostled a few associates in our under our safety umbrella. So completely under the safety umbrella, we've got the safety department. We investigate and take accident reports. We've got our law department, which from a compliance standpoint, we have citations and driver personnel. So we did kind of a little musical chairs deal. So those of you that remember, Jeff Wood used to work in our citations department, and he made the transition over to our law department. He's graced us here at our Friday morning meeting and giving you guys some excellent information. We quickly replaced him with Stephanie Ewing. She's also been here, at our meeting, giving some information, and now she has transitioned over to the safety department. Insert my guest here, Mr. Brian Beeman. You've been here about 60 days or so.
Yep, sounds about right.
All right, so introduce yourself, tell the folks, what your background is, what makes you specifically unique and qualified for your job.
All right. Well, my name is Brian Beeman, born and raised right here in Springfield, Missouri. Prior to coming here to Prime, I spent close to 9 years in law enforcement. And then prior to that, I worked as a truck driver. I drove a truck. I drove the trucks you have. Did over the road for a few years. Kind of wound up doing some local gigs, ranging anywhere from flatbed, running steel to hazardous materials, and even heavy duty wreckers. And then at some point decided to kind of change gears and go into law enforcement for a little bit. And this opportunity came up to pull both of those together, where hopefully that in the unfortunate event you do get a citation, my expertise behind the wheel and in law enforcement hopefully will come together to help you navigate those waters.
You know, so Brian has a unique opportunity for you drivers out there to say he's gotten a ticket and he's written a ticket, you know, so, you know, this makes him uniquely qualified for the job. Of course, one of the most important things, Brian here is a good Cardinal fan, but also he understands that, you know, when you guys are communicating with our folks in the citations department, typically it's not under, you know, the most positive of situations. You know, challenges are out there. We understand these things happen, whether it's a failed inspection or a true citation. You know, we understand with you know, almost 7,700 trucks on the road that we're going to have these situations. Brian understands that at all times we're going to give you that white glove service, that, you know, that Chick-fil-A customer service here in our departments that you deserve. So, you know, anything else you want to share with the folks before we let you out of here?
No, I think that's about it. Feel free to give me a call if you do have questions. Like I said, it's not like Dennis said, that's not a good thing to get a ticket. That's not going to be a good day for you. But I understand that. I've been there, done that. But again, I can help you navigate those waters and get you through to the other side the best you can. So feel free to give me a call if you have any questions.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you being here.
Yep.
Give him a round of applause. You know, we didn't draft Brian out of college or anything like that, but we did pick him up as a free agent from local law enforcement. We do feel like that was a fantastic hire. We're looking forward to great things from Brian in the future here. So
You're really running with that baseball deal, aren't you?
hey, man, I'm good at this.
I like it. What do you want to run through some numbers real quick?
Go for it.
All right. So last week we had 159 total inspections. 102 of those were clean for a 64% success rate, clean rate. So give yourselves a hand. That is far and away above the industry average there. So great job out there. You know, and I do want to mention kind of a little plug here. We started that weekly safety staple on the Prime app. So we sent another one out yesterday, and you mentioned trip planning earlier. And, you know, this talks a little bit about trip planning and the importance of trip planning. And, you know, safety is not just driving down the road. It starts well before you start your driving shift. So, you know, the more you're prepared, the better trip planning that you've done, the less stress, the safer you're going to be out there. So hopefully you guys can take a look at that. You know, give us any feedback that you might have, but if you hadn't read it, please do so.
Hey, jump more into that weekly staple. I know you talked about it 2 weeks ago, but you know, for the folks that missed it, like me, go ahead and dive a little bit about what this new initiative is and kind of what we're looking to do.
Okay. So what this is geared towards doing is just throwing out some hopefully helpful nuggets of information, depending on the time of year it is. Maybe we've got a season coming up, winter, spring, school, you know, whatever the case may be, weekend. The first week we talked about, you know, accidents and what percentage of our accidents, you know, maybe happen at the beginning or end of a driving shift or at a customer, receiver, shipper, truck stop location, something like that. So you know, we kind of talked about going down the road, and, you know, everyone does a pretty good job of being alert, paying attention and doing what they're supposed to do. But, you know, when you get into that fuel stop at the end of the day, or you pull into that customer, you know, don't let your guard down, because about 75% of our accidents are low speed, involve a parked vehicle, a stationary object, or a backing maneuver. So, you know, keep that in mind. And that's what that's geared toward, is just to throw this information out there. Maybe something that's not, you know, it's not something you think about every day, but something that we want to bring back to the front of your mind, just to put it in there as a thought, so you're thinking about it before you do something.
You know, as popular as we think these Friday morning safety meetings are, it doesn't reach every single one of our Prime drivers. You know, we've got a unique application with the Prime mobile app, and this is a shameless plug, so I'm gonna give to my friends over in IT. If you have any questions about the Prime mobile app, we've got the experts over here on my right, Richard and Brianne, that can answer any questions that you have about it. You know, just see them after the meeting. But, you know, these safety nuggets will come via push notification to your mobile app. So that means essentially every driver that has the Prime mobile app, and I think we're upwards And I saw Rodney earlier, well above 95% of the drivers have the Prime mobile app downloaded and currently using it on their phone. So that's a vehicle that we can get to just basically every single Prime driver with just a push of a button. So
Absolutely. And also be looking out for a podcast that's going to be coming out. Safety did a bit in that yesterday. There's recorded, so it should be out to you, here pretty quickly. So, between the podcast and the weekly safety staple, I feel like maybe I could change my title to safety influencer. What do you think about that?
sure, you can have the title and not the money. So we're good with that.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Who we got up next?
All right, next we're going to bring up Heather with Cardinal Sleep. As everybody has heard in our last few meetings, this has been Sleep Awareness Month, correct?
Yes, sleep apnea awareness.
Sleep Apnea Awareness Month, okay.
Yes, so this is the last week that you'll get to see me for a while, so I'm sure everybody's happy about that. I've been here every Friday. So the good thing is I'm kind of getting past the nerves, but I won't be here next week. So, but yeah, so I'm just going to kind of go over just some things that we had talked about in the past. The apps, those are really important. If you are on therapy, if you're on CPAP therapy, then we definitely want you to go find those apps on your phone for whichever device that you're on. Philips, ResMed, and ResVent all have apps, so those are great. If you look at the screen, it's going to kind of show you the icons for each one of those so that you can find those. They have them both for Apple and Android, so you'll be able to find those for whichever device that you have. If you have any trouble, let us know. I have sent the links to safety for all of those apps, and I think they'll probably get those out, or they have, to your fleet managers. And I know that, sometime in the near future, they're going to try to get those available to you on the app, the Prime app, so that you'll know where to go to find them. Those really help you with your therapy, tracking your therapy. You're able to see your usage yourself. You're also able to see if it's treating you. So that's also really great for you. And you'll be able to see what we can see so that we're all on the same page. And that just makes, it tremendously, easier for all of us, you and us, and safety. So
quick question here while we've got you up here. What is the most common thing that you see that maybe results in compliance as far as the data when you receive it?
problems with it or
Could it, it could be a mechanical, could it be we're not using it long enough, or what are maybe some of the most common things that these folks might look out for whenever they're out there using their CPAP machine?
I think the most common thing that I have noticed in working with transportation for the last 12 years is people get hung up on that 4-hour compliance number. If you're using your device every time you go to sleep, that's what it's designed for. Use it when you're sleeping. If that's 6 hours, great. If that's 10 hours, great. People get a little hung up on that 4 hours. And if you try to time yourself, you will miss that 4-hour mark 80% of the time. Because if you're trying to just wear it 4 hours and then not any more than that, you're going to miss that time. And you need it the whole time that you're sleeping. That's what therapy is. It's treating your sleep apnea the entire time you're sleeping. If you're taking a nap, use it. So that would be the biggest thing that I've noticed with transportation. Use your device every time you're sleeping.
Perfect. Okay, another question here real quick. These apps, they're all free, correct, to download?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is there anything specific about any of them that you wanted to mention? You can see everything as far as your compliance. They tell you where you're at, where you stand. So there shouldn't be any question as far as am I compliant for the past 7 days, 30 days?
Right.
Because if you're, just as a reminder, if you're getting your DOT physical renewed, you have to be compliant for 30 days. So that information is on there. So make sure that if you've got that coming up, get with your fleet manager. You can reach out to Heather or myself. We'll get you that information. So
definitely. Yeah. And if you are having issues with it, you can call us, anytime. We're here 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. Give us a call. We can help you with that. If you don't feel like the app has got the information on it that, you need or you're looking for, then let me know and I'll show you to where to go to find that.
Hey, so I've missed you.
Yeah, I missed you too.
Good to see you.
back.
Good to see you. So, of course, I've got a ton of questions for you.
Okay.
You know, full disclosure, I am a CPAP user. You know, Heather has kind of coached me through that process. You know, I didn't have the challenges that some other drivers have, and I don't know if that was because my sleep apnea was so bad, or maybe I'm just different. But essentially, the day I start using my machine, I fell in love with it. As a part of my job, I travel a lot, so I've purchased a little travel machine to do that as well. But so for folks out there, like you and I that travel a lot, what happens if you need some new equipment, hoses? I know some of the machines have filters, masks, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, if you need filters or tubing, we carry all that in the company stores. So if you're in Pittston, Salt Lake, or here, you can pick that up. If you need a mask replacement, we have those in the terminal as far as Salt Lake City and here. We can ship anything to anywhere. We can ship it to your house. We can ship it to another terminal. We can ship it to a truck stop overnight if you need that as well. So we'll make sure that you get what you need, but you do have to give us a call and let us know what you need.
Excellent. So, and of course, I know you guys are located downstairs here in the Millennium Building. Can you tell me your hours here real quick?
We are 8 to 4 Monday through Friday.
All right. Now let's talk about the other terminals. There's been a lot of conversation here lately. We are going to, eventually expand to Pittston, Pennsylvania, and we'll talk about Salt Lake City here in just a second. But tell us about what the plans are to expand to Pittston.
As far as I know, we're kind of on about a 90-day timeline. I feel like we're shooting for July. There's a lot of people that are going to have to work together to make that happen. So for my part, I feel like we're going to be ready for that. So hopefully we're going to shoot for July, and we should have things up and running there. I know everybody's working really hard to make that happen. There's just a lot of moving parts to that. But
Sure. A lot of moving parts. There's some expansion
there is.
there. So we got an expansion team coming in Pittston. You can hear some of the construction going on here too. But let's talk about Salt Lake City for just a second. An established team out there.
Yes.
I know their hours are a little bit different. Can you give me a little bit of idea what they got going on?
Right now, the hours in Salt Lake City are a little bit decreased. We, like everybody else right now, has had some staffing issues. But we're working on that to get that back up full time. So they are there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We are still currently doing sleep studies. And we continue to hope to fill those positions and keep that going. They also are really great about, if you are going to be through Salt Lake City, call them and let them know. And if you are going to be there on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, they'll make sure that whatever you need, you can, have that left for you with, security or the store or someone that can be there so you can pick up your replacement products that you need. So we'll make sure that you get what you need. Just give us a call and we'll make it work.
All right. Hey, I got one question for you, and this is just for my own edification. I just recently got a soap clean machine, but how often should I just be putting literal soap and water on the machine? I try to do it a couple times a week. I'm not as diligent as I probably need to be, but I'll still try to do it a couple times a week. Is that sufficient, or do I need to be doing that more?
I would wipe the machine down every day, just with CPAP wipes, with a washcloth. The tank, the tubing, and the mask, you do want to keep that really clean. You want to wash that with mild soap and water. Daily is suggested. If you can't do that, do it as frequently as you can. I know that daily is difficult, especially when you're on the road and you're going in and out of places, but definitely do that as frequently as you can. The cushion, the mask, the tubing, and the tank where you keep your water.
Guess I got some changes I need to make in my routine. Well, good deal. Thank you, Heather, so much. Hey, so you guys, it's not easy to get up here and talk in front of these people. And Heather was one of those people for a long time. Man, I don't want to get up there and talk in front of these people. But as you can see, she has come a long way. There was no nerves. She was right on it. Give her a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. I'm trying to make sure.
Heather goes above and beyond, and I'm just going to brag about her a little bit. She really knocks it out of the park with the effort she puts through. I message her every morning. So say, Heather, I need this. And she gets it to me just as quick as she can to keep you folks running. So thank you for all that you do with that, Heather.
The other thing about that too, it's something about teamwork. When we did our transition and John moved into the department, one of his first big tasks was to get this CPAP under control and make sure that we get our compliance numbers up. I think when you took over, we were seeing numbers down in the 60s from a weekly compliance standpoint, and I issued you a real big challenge to say, hey, make sure that we get this number up. We need to protect us. We need to protect the company. And I purposely shot high, thinking that the highest we've ever had was, mid to upper 80s. I said, well, let's give this dude some work to do. Let's get it up to 90%. I'm going to give you 2 quarters to get that done. We're just now, literally today, the end of the first quarter, we've been at 90% or above CPAP compliance for about at least 6 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I could take credit for it, but man, it's all John and Heather and the fleet managers and the drivers. So give these folks a round of applause for their efforts.
Yeah, it's been great. Everyone's bought in. We had some issues over the past 3 years with some parts and some recalls, and I think that we're through that. So that's really helped out. But everybody out there, all of you buying in and getting that data sent in Monday, we started, sending a couple of messages out on the app. Some IT folks have taught me how to use technology to our advantage. And so we're able to message some specific folks that haven't sent in data. And I think that that's kind of helped. So great job to all of you for buying in and getting that data into us.
Excellent. So, I'm looking at the clock and I just want to make sure that we're good on time. So let's keep on rolling. Who do we got next?
We're going to bring up Mr. Doug Tam next. And Chad Taylor, I believe, correct?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for what you do out there. Keeping the safe, and we're hitting all those miles and making that bank, like Robert would like to say. So, I manage our road assist department. I do want to put a plug in for those folks. They've been working really hard over the past few months. Our call volumes are around 4,000 calls, and 89% of those calls are answered within the first 20 seconds. So, if you've had a bad experience in the past, maybe for our road assist department, or, have had a hard time getting through to us, we've added some associates to that department, and we got some 100% buy-in. So please give us a chance to help you, talk you through fixing those problems over the road to keep you out of these dealers. The dealers are more expensive. I'll pick on Chad a little bit, but if we can talk you into, how to change a mud flap or how to reset some codes and stuff over the phone, and you can do it yourself, that's going to save you a ton of money and make you more successful here at Prime. I'll put a plug in also for a pro maintenance class. That's every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll teach you hands-on how to change mud flaps, what to look for on your tires, how to check the oil on the APU and all that stuff. And I want to mention that because Chad helps teach those classes a lot of times as well. So Chad Taylor's with Rush Trucks, our largest dealer network, right?
Yes, sir. We are the largest dealership family across North America. Right now, I think we're sitting at about 73 or 74 Peterbilt stores and 75, 76 international stores across the U.S. and Canada. And that's just Rush. So the international dealership network is actually the largest as well. So we do have the largest support network out there on the road for you all. So just some exciting things that are coming down the pike, probably for the end of this year, going into next year. International has our new integrated drivetrain coming out. It's our own engine and transmission. We haven't had that in a long time. How many of you all like pulling over on the side of the road and hitting that regen button and waiting for that regen to maybe run or not run or anything like that? Anybody like taking those kind of unscheduled breaks? Yeah, I didn't think so.
No hands.
So our new engine will have zero need for the driver to do that. There will never be a driver-initiated regen on our new engine. So that's good. EGR cooler failures, we all love those too. You start losing a bunch of coolant, start regenning improperly. We're not going to have an EGR cooler either. So we are on the cutting edge of some technology coming up. A lot of changes coming to the truck and powertrain, and future's looking good. So any questions for us right now? She asked what year that's happening. The new engine and transmission combination will be available for order third or fourth quarter of this year. So we'll probably start seeing them roll into next calendar year.
I'll give you a chance to answer the question I asked Van last week on Peterbilt. You know, why should what should convince our drivers to go to Darrell Hopkins and Drew to get more internationals in our fleet there, Chad?
Just what I've been told is we've got the best ride going. We are the Cadillac right now. We get great fuel mileage. I actually looked at some fuel mileage for a driver the other day, and pretty new truck right out of the box, not really broke in yet. He was getting 9.44 miles to the gallon out of his truck in the tanker division. So that's actually pretty good given all the idle time and PTO time those guys have. So overall 9.5 miles to the gallon. And like I said, we do have the largest support network out there on the road for you guys through our dealership families and through our warranty partnership with Loves. Loves is a Navistar warranty certified repair center. So they can actually file the warranty as well. And then of course, we get some spiffs being part of Prime. I have a guy at International that even if you have what should be warranty done at a non-warranty dealer, just because they got the truck up and fixed and going for you, you'll pay that bill. We will cover some things that other fleets don't get the luxury of, so that's just the partnership we have with Prime right now.
That's fantastic. Any questions for me or Chad while we're up here?
Hey, Doug, I got one.
Yes, sir. Mr. Paul
I was
Higgins.
talking to an operator the other day, and he had gotten some work done at a shop. And this isn't necessarily for you, Chad, but it's just a comment in general. And he got his settlement and looked at his settlement, found out that he just actually asked for an oil change or PM and found out his bill was $600. And so a couple of things, came to mind immediately. And that is, well, surely you had something else done. And that's what your 600 was about. And you don't remember. Well, I guess my point is, I don't take my pickup truck to the dealer and I don't drop it off and say, do the oil change, do whatever you find. And then later on, I don't look at my credit card statement a month later or sometime later and find out how much that bill was. Doesn't that sound stupid if I were to do that? But yet every day we drop our trucks off and we have no idea how much that bill's going to be. So I said, listen, don't ever leave a dealership unless you got your bill. You look at it at that time, you find out what was done, you say, yeah, that's right, or no, I didn't ask for that, and let's talk about this, and how about that crazy price? Doesn't Prime get a deal? So that's the time to talk about these things, but I'm still amazed at how many people just still drop those things off. We don't ask for that bill. So anyway, that's just a little bit of coaching, and I appreciate what you do, Chad. That's great to hear. You got a great dealer network, and thanks for all your help here at Prime.
Yeah, Paul makes a great point there. Always involve your road assist advisor. That's part of their job, and Chad and all of our on-site reps to get your truck up and running fast. So whenever you're going to be a victim if you just drop your truck off and don't get us involved. We're going to call every single day. We're going to get those quotes approved. But if you don't let us know that truck's there, we don't know. We can't help you. So rely on us and let us help you. That's all we got, Dennis.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, guys. In our Department of Safety, there's a just terrible ongoing joke that, I love getting the microphone, but I just realized something. As much as I like the microphone, I think there's one person here that enjoys the microphone just as much as I do, if not more, and that's Paul Higgins. So Paul, yep, you just put yourself on the spot. So come on up here, join me here. Sticking with the baseball theme, Paul is our resident grammar coach. But he's also our coach on equipment and all things maintenance. So we're going to give you a few minutes. I know you just gave us a quick soliloquy over here on exactly what we should be doing as far. Don't spill that.
I don't know where to stand. I got to look for little X's somewhere here.
Just look for the exit sign. There you go. But tell us about what's going on equipment wise. I know you're really good about give us some coaching as far as some things like eating weights or, just all things equipment related. What you got going on these days?
Well, I'm glad you gave me the mic because you and I are brethren on this deal. Okay, so as far as trailers go, let me just give you an update. We have a great appetite for trailers. And I'm going to say, how many people in here are reefer people? None. Okay, you guys got to be fast with your hands. Okay, reefer people, one more time. Okay, good. Flatbedders. Okay, tankers. You? Was that a hand raise? Was that it? Okay, couple tankers. Okay, so here's what we got going on. We got 51 tankers coming in. They're brand new. Tankers cost about $100,000 a piece. It's crazy. So we have an ongoing deal with Walker. So those are coming in nicely. we've got a flatbed deal where we order 120 straight deck flats, and we order 120 step decks or drop decks. Those are right now our trailers. Those are coming in great. One of the manufacturers had a problem with that neck down part, so it's a little bit delayed. We also ordered another 100 of those things to come in the second half of the year. So there's a lot going on in flatbed. We really like that new equipment. The right now has been really good for us. Concerning reefers, we've got a 2,100 trailer order deal with utility, and those are coming out of Mexico, just south of Eagle Pass, Texas. Some of you guys have already been down there. Nice trailers. We're looking for some more in the second half. So we've got a few Hyundai trailers that are going to come in. Got an order for 175 of those. Those will come in out of Tijuana. We've been down to the plant down there, and they run a really nice operation. So we're excited to get some of those in. And then we also have 100 Vanguard trailers. If you've heard of Vanguard, they're a trailer that's really made in China in parts. It's shipped in a container over here. It's assembled in LA. And so we got 100 of those a couple months ago. And we're going to test those out because it also looks like a fine product. One of the things I want to tell you guys about too is, let's talk about tractors for a second. Starting in May, what's really kind of cool is, you guys are probably not guilty of this, but I have. I've been known to make a lane change without really looking. So I'm generally driving too fast in the left lane, speeding, usually talking on the phone. But I do have I have a dash cam. But anyway, whenever I make a right-hand turn, I usually signal, but I've been known not to look very well. Trucks coming in starting in May on our Freightliners. This is pretty exciting. They're going to have right side collision warning. Now, it's not going to steer the truck back to the left lane, but it's going to tell you what's there beside you, including your blind spot and the trailer. So that's really cool. We've had a lot of accidents on that right lane squeeze. And so we're really looking forward to that. And I think Dennis was probably instrumental in making that happen. Just stay on top of it and make sure we got that put into our order. Then one last thing, and I'll let you guys get going to whoever's next. I want to talk about weights for just a second. Maybe three things about weights, and I'm mostly talking to you reefer people. Here's one of the biggest tips, and I see we've got a lot of people with the green vests on. And those of you who've been here for a long time, and you already know everything about weights, you don't have to listen, but you also don't have to admit that you didn't already know this. Okay, so here's what I would tell you. That one of the most important things I could tell you about weights is this. Get 34,000 pounds on your drive axle. That's really it. If you can get 34,000 pounds on your axle, on your drives, you don't need to really worry too much about what's going on in the trailer, because we don't ever really load over gross. Not 1% of the time, not 0.1% of the time. Maybe one load out of thousands would ever have to be even over gross. So if you get 34,000 on your drives, you can't be in trouble on your trailer. Okay. Now, I don't want you going to cat scales. There's no need to waste that 15 or 20 bucks at cat scales. We've got some great videos on how to make this all happen. And so I really would tell you, you can save a ton of money. And there's a lot of people that'll give you bad coaching here. A lot of people say, well, it's safe, and I don't mind spending 15 bucks on an insurance plan to go to cat scales. But I'm telling you, that's wasted money, and you don't need a tax write-off on that. You just need to not do it. You get headed down the road. And anyway, so if you've got any questions about loads, call your fleet manager before you leave the shipper, okay? That's the second thing. It's really important. Number 3, don't bother our shippers. Okay, don't take loads back to the shippers until you've talked to your fleet manager, okay? We're professionals here. We'll figure out how to juggle the load, the weight around, but we don't need to be pestering our customers. Most of the time, and I'm talking like 23 out of the last 24 times, we've solved weight problems internally where we didn't have to get the shipper involved in it again. And all that really does is kind of clogs up their loading procedures. We ought to be able to handle ourselves. So I hope that makes some sense. Those are my top 3 things on weights. But if you got any problems, call your fleet manager. You can always get me on the phone as well. Love to help you out, okay? And thanks, Scott.
All right. Let's give Paul a round of applause.
So I've got one more question for Paul. So Doug kind of mentioned, and we see a lot of yellow vests, and we've seen more and more. So talk about the importance of if I'm out there on the road and I'm going above and beyond a PM service, if we're talking about repairs, How important is it to get only what's done necessary and then maybe get back to a prime terminal as far as saving money is concerned?
Well, this would be a Doug plug actually, but over in the it's called the Urbana building, and that's where we work on trailers. But we've got a bay over there where it's a quick service bay, so you can just line up out there. It's first come first serve to get PMs done, and the technician that's doing that has done hundreds or thousands of those things already. So that I think it's all guys right now. So that guy will look at your truck and find out what's going on. But to answer John's question specifically, our trucks, I believe right now, I think the Freightliner's on 50,000 mile PMs, aren't they? Somebody give me a yes or no. Higher? How many? 75 now? How crazy is that? 75,000. Okay, we used to change those things every 10,000 miles. We get oil changes. So here's the deal: 75,000 miles. PMs still cost about $300. I think that's kind of the going number. So you ought to know these things. Okay, you people in the vest, if you don't know them, man, start writing stuff down. Take notes, write it on paper, put it in your phone. $300 is about right for a PM. If it's higher than that, don't do it. Okay, wait. So at 75,000, you got plenty of time to plan ahead. It's not something that just sneaks up on you and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this. Okay, so stay on top of it. Try to work your way through here. What we'll do is we'll take a look at your truck. We'll do the PM. We'll fix what's necessary, but we're not here to really try to upsell you. We're not trying to, we're not on an incentive program. We get paid for how much we give you extra. Remember that guy I talked about that had $600 bill? Well, that's not what we're made of. Okay. So I think it's important, that you stay on the PMs. If you're going to run 1,000 miles over, it's not going to, the truck's not going to blow up because you're at 76,000. But I think you should be really close to that. And also don't do it at 50 just because you want the truck to go 1,000,000 miles. You're not going to have the truck 1,000,000 miles. You're going to run it up to 600,000. We're going to get you in a new truck and you're going to move on. So do your PMs right when you're supposed to, not crazy before. Okay, you're wasting money there, and that's just as bad as not looking at your invoices. That answer your question, John? Oh, thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Paul. Give Paul a round of applause there.
He walked away like he was shy. He needed that last round of applause to get him through the day. So hey, it's springtime, and there's one of my favorite times of year. Of course, we talked about it being baseball season. I think they set up this faux green monster behind us for all you baseball fans. Shout out to the Red Sox. It's Final Four time, college basketball fans. This weekend, you're going to get, the semifinal, national final on Monday night. NFL draft is here. All things spring related. The weather's changing. 75 degrees here in Springfield. But this time of year, there's also one other thing that comes along. It's time to file your taxes. Boo. Yeah, I heard you. Boo taxes. I don't like paying taxes either, but I do like roads. I do like emergency services. I do like, good, healthy schools for my kid to go to. So, it's kind of one of those things that's a necessary evil. But, to do our part, we're going to bring the folks up from Abacus to come on up and talk to us about some of the services they provide.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Glad I get to cover the favorite subject of spring, taxes. So I kind of reframe it a little bit. Anytime I'm looking at taxes, typically you're thinking paying. Let's pay less. Let's get a refund. That's what I want to see. So April 18th is going to be the filing deadline. Odd date this year. We got a holiday in there. We got falls on a Saturday. So April 18th. If it's going to go past that, get an extension in. Now is the time. That extension is going to allow you to October 16th to ensure that you're getting everything entered that you need to get in, and it's going to waive that filing penalty. So one of my number one goals is to avoid smiles with the IRS. Don't pay more than you need to. Avoid those penalties. Get the extension done. On that same line of thinking, this is going to be more for lease owner operators. If you're keeping up with estimated taxes, April 18th is going to be that date as well. That is a busy time of the year. Be sure to get that estimated payment in, though. Remember, prepaying those taxes, once again, just avoiding those underpayment penalties. Now, with that same line of thinking, I always like to end it on a positive note. So lease owner operators, LLCs. If you're needing to file an LLC, if you're needing to run under an LLC, I want you to remember you are a business owner. Get that protection that you are afforded as a business owner. Have that ability to separate those assets. So come see us at Advocates if you do have any questions regarding the extensions. Get with your tax professional, CPA, accountant, whoever you may be working with. Avoid smiles at the IRS. Let's pay no more than we need to, but make sure we stay compliant. That's the last thing you need to be worried about. Any questions out there with tax season coming up? I know it's a big subject to tackle.
I got
Crickets.
one. I got one real quick, and I'm gonna take you back to the days of our buddy Clint Johnson. He always talked about, I think it was the state of Louisiana. If you didn't get those state taxes in, they actually suspend your.
They can
CDL.
pull, revoke CDLs.
Is that the only state that does that, or?
To my knowledge, Louisiana is definitely the most stringent. It's going to need to be a pretty serious case, though. Don't give them reason to.
Excellent.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time.
All right, appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
This is a pretty awesome place to work. I always revel coming up on 21 years of service here to the company, but just, here this Friday morning meeting, I think the theme is we're here to help. If you look around the room, we've got the director of security. We've got the guy in charge of flatbed. We've got driver health and fitness over there. We've got D Silva over here, who I see on TV every other week. We've got just looking around, the director of maintenance. We've got guy in charge of payroll, the HR, the tax folks, the safety department. We're right here, ready and willing to answer your questions. We'll be as transparent as we possibly can. So, one other thing, we talked about the baseball theme. There's another theme that goes on every Friday here. John's got on red. I've got on red. A lot of folks around the room have got on red. For us, we try to wear red on Fridays as an acronym for Remember Everyone Deployed, RED. So if you served in the armed forces, if you in uniform defended our freedom, if you would stand and allow us to properly thank you for your service. So as we talk about service, I'm going to ask Steve Wucky to come up. He served this country well, but he also serves this company well, and making sure that, we get this good service so we can get those high rates. Good morning to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dennis. He's overstated it just a little bit. I haven't delivered one on time in 39 years, but you all do it every day, and we cannot thank you enough. Yeah, my name's Steve Wucky. I'm in sales, and really, I think we have the best sales team in the country, because I'm looking at y'all here. And those of you that are not here but out there running, delivering freight, we really appreciate what you're doing. This is a safety meeting because safety is our highest calling. You new folks, thank you for joining us. We're proud to have you with us. We think you've made a really good decision. You might think you're part of a health club or social club or something else after listening to everything that's going on up here. But never forget, safety is our highest calling, okay? Why are we able to grow as we've been able to grow and be profitable? Because of what our operators do. That on-time service is spectacular. Our numbers are terrific. Everything that you've heard this morning, I hope you understand. Don't be a victim here. All you got to do is ask. You probably won't get the answer on social media, but if you'll just call the right person here in our office, work through your fleet manager or whoever hired you here, we'll help you through it, okay? It's not a perfect science. We're far from perfect. However, I'll tell you, we want to get better every day, and you all can help us do that. So please don't be hesitant to ask questions. Paul Higgins, come here real quick. I got to ask you a question, because as you were going through this, where we're buying all of our equipment, why are we so diversified? Why are we going through all these different companies? Could you share with us why?
Yeah. We want to partner with utility, and they've been great partners with us. One of the challenges is that, during COVID, people weren't coming in, so the workforce just plummeted. And so they couldn't build as many trailers. And we have this huge appetite for trailers. Think about this. Through reefer, flatbed, and tanker, we grew maybe almost 1,000 trucks. It's real easy math. 1,000 trucks in last year. So we went from, say, 7,000 to 8,000, okay? And just follow with me. So if we just grow 1,000 trucks and our trailer ratio is 1.6 trailers per tractor, that means we just have an appetite for 1,600 trailers a year. So that doesn't count replacing the trailers. You know, we want to replace trailers as they get about 4 or 5 years old. But we got thousands of trailers now coming and going. We have an appetite annually for about 3,000 trailers. So while I was up here a second ago and I said, hey, look, we got to deal with utility for 2,100 trailers, that doesn't cut it. That leaves us way short. So we're out there beating the bushes, you know, and we just take up a huge amount of everybody's production. It's really weird kind of what a machine this is. So
Yeah, but the point really is it's been quite a task because of going through COVID, which has created some other issues along the way. We know the guy that started this company years ago understands that new equipment is much more efficient and less costly to run. So some of the equipment that we've hung on to has a little bit of a maintenance issue. We recognize that and we're trying to phase that out as quickly as possible. So once again, we're gonna be a leader in this industry. Our customers they love our equipment. It's standard. As Paul explained earlier, we can haul weight where others can't haul weight, which is a definite advantage with our customer base. So I'm gonna stop right here, and I'm gonna tell you that business is just a little bit spotty based off of what our economy is doing. Don't get your dauber down. We're gonna pick it up. We're out there beating the bushes, finding opportunities with other customers. Keith and all of our sales guys are out there on a weekly basis looking for new opportunities. Here's one thing we're not gonna do. We're not gonna match up on low price to create capacity. That is a loser, and we won't do that. We will be the low-cost service provider for our customers. That's our strategy. Matching up on low price is a kiss of death. You all that are operators, you know you're a percentage operator, and you don't want to take a cut. We don't want you to take a cut. So just gut it out with us. This thing's going to flip again. We'll be just fine. We've got enough freight for our trucks. We're just going to keep beating the bushes and finding new opportunities. Okay. So thank you all very much. I'd like to bring up Robert Lowe.
Just 1 second before
Oh,
you
yes.
bring in the closer. I got one more for you.
Okay.
You know, you talked earlier about, you know, folks having questions and concerns, and, you know, we've had some social media posts and some questions about some things going on in Pittston. All right. But I got the perfect person ready on deck to give us those answers. Rick Yarborough, are you there?
1 second.
We'll
Yes, sir,
wait
I'm
for you,
here.
Rick.
Thanks for bringing me in at the bottom of the night. Tells me how
Yeah,
special I
there you
am.
go.
Save the game here. But yeah, just real quick, I don't want us to go into extra innings, but we have a few things going on here at Pittston. I know it can be a little bit inconvenient, especially when you want to run in and run out. First, let's just address the big problem is the crowding on the yard. Man, I know that we have a lot of equipment here, and trust me, it's not going unnoticed. It's not that we don't care. We're exploring a lot of options for that to make it a little bit easier to get around the yard for everyone, not just our drivers, but our mechanics too. They're having a tough time up there. So yeah, we're working on that. We moved a lot of equipment off the yard yesterday, and we're going to get some more off today because you know how the weekends are. On every yard we have, guys will be rolling in, and we're going to clean it up a little bit for you. But you'll also notice if you walked into operations this morning, there's really no one there. It's got nothing to do with COVID because there's not really a lot of desks there either. We're going to do some remodeling here and make this, you know, we try to keep all of our terminals nice. We want to be a home away from home for everyone that comes in here. So we're going to be making this place look a little bit better, feel a little bit better. And we're also going to make the operations area a little bit easier for you to navigate when you get here. You know, right now, if you walk in those double doors, you look, you really can't see anyone because of the heights of the computers. So we're going to make this more friendly for you when you come in here. Heather mentioned earlier the Cardinal Sleep Center. We were talking about that. She's shooting for July. I'm shooting for June. I think we'll be able to start that in June. We'll have everyone out of that space that's currently sitting there the second or third week in May. So Heather can get started moving Cardinal up here. So those are some of the things we have going on here, and it's just to make it easier, more convenient, and user-friendly for our folks over the road. Because I know when you come into this yard, or any yard, Salt Lake City or Springfield, when you roll into the yard, the last thing you want or need is to be inconvenienced or to be frustrated. And I really apologize for the yard. But Paul just talked about we're buying 2,100 reefer trailers. And you look at our yard and say, well, don't park them in Pittston, whatever you do. And, I think Salt Lake City says the same thing. But we're going to get this equipment cleaned up and out of the way as quick as we can. Just bear with us. If you ever need help in the yard, any yard, but especially here in Pittston, just walk into the trailer shop, find security, find me. We'll get you help. It's frustrating, I know, but we'll get you help. I'm all over the terminal. If you can't find me, if someone else can't help you with your problem, go to the front desk at security and say, hey, John, can you get Rick on the phone for me? And we'll make it happen. I'm always available. Call me. He'll give you my personal phone number and we'll help you out. So that's all I have. I don't want to make it go any longer, but thanks for all you guys do all over the company, Springfield, Salt Lake City, everyone. Appreciate it, Steve.
Rick, thank you. Here's my suggestion. Get those trailers off the yard to customers that want them. I'm telling you, they need the trailers. So get them out of there, and you in Salt Lake do the same. Okay, Robert, come on up here and let's close this thing up. Out, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You claiming 39 years?
Well, that's what I'm claiming.
I'm gonna have to count up. I'm not sure. He might be stretching a little bit.
No.
But no, this guy right here, he's a sales guy. So we're asking him to step up. And he claims to be such a sales guy, and I'm touting him here. I mean, you need to cure this freight situation. We need a few more loads out there.
We do.
Let's be honest about it.
We do.
Also, parking is not just an issue in Salt Lake and Pittston. It's an issue here. Now, help's on the way. We've got a plan. We're going to get more parking because you all need it. You deserve it. It's a huge issue, and we're always looking to improve the situations. You notice the new showers upstairs? Anybody taking a shower up there? New showers? Is it okay? Good. Better? Okay. Well, we've got more of them coming, and we're going to continue to do, the things that we need to do to make this, like I said, a home away from home, a destination company, as Dennis says so eloquently. We want it to be a good place because you deserve it. Steve, the reason that I like new equipment over old equipment, do you know the reason for that?
I think I have an idea.
Because I had a bunch of old equipment back in my formative years and I couldn't afford new, and I had to run that stuff. And I'm telling you what, that increase in the truck payment is far less than the increase in your maintenance expense with that old stuff and the downtime. I mean, running old iron ain't no fun. Gonna have an amen on old equipment, no fun.
I give you an amen on that, man.
Yeah, it's no good. It's not profitable. And, that's one of the things that in this marketplace, supply and demand, a free market economy, we have some competitors out there that we're competing with, but a lot of them are running our old iron. And God bless them for buying it from us because we need a place to get rid of it. But it's just not as efficient. It's just not as efficient what we're running. So eventually, our plan is just to, some of those guys will make it, but a lot of them won't. A lot of them won't. So that supply and demand balance shifts. And guess what? It makes more freight available to us. Yes, sir.
I do have one question for you, sir. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's in regards to Reed City. Are we ever going to, upgrade?
Improve Reed City?
That's correct.
Unfortunately, it's not right now. It's not on the radar. And I hate to disappoint you. We'll continue to monitor it. I'm not going to shine you on either and say, oh yeah, it's coming. But we'll get to it in due time. But I appreciate your comment. You planted the seed now, so I got it.
Hey, Rob, just a quick question. Is there any details on the upcoming rumor of Atlanta terminal?
I really don't have an upgrade. We've made some offers. You know, there's a lot of regulatory stuff. You know, a lot of these communities, I certainly don't agree with them, but you know, they don't like trucks very much. So when we get into the fact that we're going to be storing tractors and trailers there, and, you know, I don't know why. They wouldn't be eating if we didn't bring them something to eat. You know what? But they just don't give us enough love. That's all. But we're working on some. We'll find something. Just give us a little bit of time. Okay. Got a good group. You new folks, I thank you for choosing Prime. I appreciate you. I think you're going to like it here. You know, we're going to have some fun and make some bank. Provided Steve gets up there and sells something, don't give it away either. Sell.
No, we're not going to do that low price thing.
Yeah,
no.
yeah. So I just ask each of you to be safe out there. God bless you, and keep on going, keep on grinding. We'll get through this. Thank you.
Be safe, please. Thank you all.